Let's get this rolling. Wow. All right, I'm going to call this meeting of the Ocean Township Environmental Commission to order. Do a roll call vote. Member Colton. Member Johnson indicated she would be absent, as did Member Gaudette. Member Lutz.
Here.
Member Brannon.
Here.
Member Mamie is not here yet. Alternate Tremonti.
Here.
And alternate Baxi.
Here.
All right, statement of compliance with the Open Public Meeting Law. The notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Law for this meeting have been satisfied. A copy of the annual notice was sent to the Asbury Park Press and the Coaster, posted in Town Hall and filed in the office of the Township Clerk on June 30th, 2023. This meeting will be recorded and available on Ocean Township's YouTube channel. All right, our first order of business, we have our January 2024 minutes. If everyone has had a chance to review them, does anyone have any comments, questions, concerns, and or other for Donna? Norm?
No,
Nothing?
I did look at them.
Okay.
And
All right.
it was brief. It was right on my screen, and I looked at it and I read it, and I said, okay,
Okay. So would you like to make a motion to approve the January minutes?
no, because I don't like to be pushed into anything.
I mean, it was more of an offer. Do I have a second?
Okay, look, just to move the meeting along, I moved.
Well, remember, Brandon,
You missed your
you can
chance.
second it.
I can second. Okay,
Second
I'll
it.
second.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstained? Great. Okay, moving right along. Environmental Commission website, there are no updates. Ken and Norm, do you want to just give a very brief synopsis on the latest of the tree ordinance webinars from DEP?
Well, they're going over, things that are interesting, but didn't we send them out? Did anyone get a chance to look at the slides? Did I send them to everybody?
Yeah, you sent the slides on the first one, but wasn't the second one?
I didn't send the second one, because the second email was more. I could have sworn, I could have blown it.
I could have missed it. I have been a little out of it this
Did
week.
you notice anything?
I don't think.
Maybe I didn't send it to, maybe I only sent it to the shade tree people.
I mean, yeah,
I don't think I.
yeah, you were probably exclusionary like that. That's fine. So you want to just give a very brief
Surprised, I can
synopsis?
send it to you, but I'm surprised.
Ken?
I missed the first one, but the second one was pretty interesting. I took a lot of notes. I think the third one is going to be more interesting, but I'm going to have to miss it because I'm away. So hopefully I'll look at the slides and maybe the recording will be available.
Yeah, Bill said it's next Tuesday or something. That's why I go somewhere.
Okay, so what was the second one about?
It was about the structure of the proposed ordinance that the NJDEP put together.
Okay. And based on that, how are you feeling about our current ordinance being in compliance?
That I don't know. Bill Brooks has sent it off and is trying to get a ruling on it, which hopefully will give us some time to revise ours once we see what other townships and other communities are doing.
Right, each town has
So
someone.
if
Yeah, sorry, Ken. Each town has someone involved in this process.
Mhm.
Or, I forget what word he used, a monitor or whatever it is. And I think she's in Freehold, he said. And he sent her our ordinances, sent the tree ordinance that we talked about familiarly, as well as the construction ordinance part. And she supposedly has them and reviewing them.
Okay.
See where we stand. He from his discussions with her, he thinks we're going to be looking pretty good.
Okay. So just so we're all back on the same page, because I forget who's been part of what conversation. When DEP came out with their new model ordinance, they said that any municipality that has an existing tree protection ordinance can submit it to DEP for review to see if it is compliant with the new regulations and get a ruling to see if the ordinance needs to be modified at all. So towns that had no ordinance, clearly they need to come up with one from scratch. Towns like us that had one, they could be reviewed and see if it met what DEP is holding. Again, this is all under the MS4 permit, so it has to do with flooding. That's what they're really looking for to mitigate flooding. So,
Hey, can I ask a question?
sure, Faith.
Please. So we sent our ordinance to the DEP
Mhm.
to get it reviewed, and they said it did not meet the requirements because it didn't include residential. So everyone needs a tree permit, even, residents, everybody. Oh, so that's what yours does? You require residents?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well,
Yeah.
we're so happy. This is like what we've been trying to get for years. I can't believe they're putting it through. It's wonderful. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll be quiet.
There's a lot of towns that are going to struggle with implementation, but we've been ahead of the curve, so Ocean's in a much better position than a lot of other towns.
Yeah.
The other thing they went over were some examples from other towns about their different sections of their tree protection and replacement ordinances. Most of them were similar to ours. I think I picked up a few ideas from some other towns about how to improve ours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else on the tree ordinance?
Well, just that, the next one of these webinars
Mhm.
is next Tuesday, I think. I had
Mhm.
signed up on it, so did you see that anything like that?
I think I saw something
So
coming
if you
up.
have it, it takes, it's an hour and a half to 2 hours, whatever it is. But it's kind of interesting, you know? So I'll send out the stuff, I made a note, so I'll send whatever I've got, and include the new things, so if anyone else wants to sit in on this last one, which could be getting into even more detail, which might be more interesting. The kind of people who are
Norm,
doing
could
it.
you send that to me too? Because I can't find my link.
Okay,
Thank
I'll
you.
send you, I'll send you a bunch of stuff. Faith.
Okay.
Now, it turns out the people who are doing this are, one of them is a planner. Okay, like a town planner, is one of the guys doing the presentations, and the other guy is more of a true person.
Okay.
Forest.
All right, so we're waiting for that review to come back before we do anything else on our ordinance, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I actually, just to go back on the agenda, I did have one other update, and I don't think I made it at the last meeting. We did update the EC website to include the contact number for DEP, but we did not, we talked about using Tinton Falls submission form for smells from the Reclamation Center, and we're going to work on developing our own instead of using theirs. So that will be on the website eventually. But in the meantime, you can still, the number for DEP is up there in case anyone needs it. Sorry. Stormwater ordinance, I haven't had a chance to talk to anyone. I understand that our new, I don't know if it's formal, but I think Councilman Fisher is going to be our new liaison. So I have not had a conversation with him yet, and he wasn't at the last planning board meeting, so I need to sit down and chat with him and get him up to speed and all that jazz. So
The shape sheet one too.
I believe so, but I'm not sure.
What happened to Kelly? They just shuffle everyone around?
I know that they have a lot of assignments.
One meeting was enough.
Yeah.
It seems like they were each gonna try it, I thought.
Oh,
and
Okay.
maybe they were each gonna see what fit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, I know that now that they have new council folks with different schedules, they're trying to
Yeah.
make it all fit.
accommodate. Yeah.
So, I don't think we scared anybody off. I think we're
That's
fine.
nice.
I could be wrong. But yeah, so stay tuned. And then Brookside Mary is not here tonight. I haven't heard anything on the Brookside project. And impervious cover, we can probably drop off of this list because it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job.
Ah. So it only took 6 years.
That's
But,
great.
When you talk about the Brookside project,
hmm
you're talking about, what about the bridge?
Not talking about the bridge, but if you'd like to talk about the bridge, we can discuss the bridge. I think everyone knows my feelings on the bridge, but we can talk about it
No, but I
again.
thought there was a meeting, I thought there was a meeting at the somewhere about that the other day because I got a call from someone who was talking about it. He said he was gonna go to some kind of meeting. It was a Board of Adjustment meeting or something, but I don't know if it was
Well,
one.
why don't you ask our new zoning board liaison?
Oh, I don't think I am.
Aren't you on the zoning board?
No,
Oh.
see, this is what is,
Oh,
breaking
this is
news,
what
okay.
is so crazy, yes. Is I guess there's so many people that need to be appeased to be placed places that, you know, one day I'm gonna be on the planning board, the next day I'm gonna be on the zoning board, so it actually is very frustrating.
Well, I
So-
apologize. I thought I read
No,
it somewhere,
no,
like
I know,
officially.
everyone was- Yes,
Okay.
a lot of typos and
Okay.
inaccurate info, I was, you know, but that's, you know, that's the internet for you.
That is the internet. Okay.
What are
Well,
you gonna do? But yeah, I would love to be on the zoning board or planning board, but I think I can't be cutting people online supposedly. I don't know. We'll
so
see.
Norm, do you want to just refresh everyone's memory what the bridge is?
Okay, actually, the guy was talking to me, I actually got it completely backwards on what it was doing, okay? Because when I finally looked on a map of where everything was, it was going in the actual opposite direction, okay?
You know, bridges, you can walk both ways over bridges. They go.
No,
This
but-
is a one-way
compared-
bridge.
This is compared to the guy who lives on this cul-de-sac. that the bridge is
Do not enter.
going
Yes.
through.
Yeah.
I thought it was a bunch of people going through his cul-de-sac to head towards Deal Road,
Mm-hmm.
but I think this cul-de-sac is oriented the other way, or something like after the bridge. I can't figure it out. But basically, over, what's it, Poplar Brook,
Mm-hmm.
I guess, they want to put a bridge so that people can get from part of town that, I think the main emphasis between this is, okay, is there's a synagogue on Deal Road,
Like
just up the street,
right here.
okay? And
Right
there's
there? Yeah,
there's
that
a
way,
development,
yeah.
there's a community behind it, but there's a lot of other people who, to get there, have to go all the way down Whale Pond and whatever they have to do, okay?
Geometry, they're
Or
going
Monmouth
straight
Road,
across.
Or Monmouth Road, whatever it is, it's maybe more Monmouth Road.
Mhm.
Or Monmouth.
Monmouth Road. So meanwhile, though, people have been cutting through there a bit, you know, which isn't good and everything else. And they want to put in a bridge. That would be the town's responsibility, I guess, as I understand, to install that bridge, although people can make donations, and how many donations they get may make a determination when they actually build the bridge, even if it's, so I'm not involved in any of that. Okay? So it turns out that, and that something's happening, because when I got the call, at the end of the cul-de-sac, heading where I thought was one direction, was the other direction, we'll go to my disorientation, okay? Which is readily apparent every week.
I'm getting dizzy, Norm.
Every meeting, exactly, see? Why should I be the only one disoriented? So anyway, but they had pictures of the public works people had cut down some trees where the bridge is gonna go, even though it hasn't necessarily officially been blessed and approved, but it certainly looks as if it might have been. Meanwhile, there's this other meeting that these other guys who live on that cul-de-sac, there's two streets, the cul-de-sac street and one next to it, with the addresses of the people there. They sent a huge letter that actually was pretty well written overall, whatever we're trying to say, to DEP about the whole business and something. Okay. So anyway, so they were gonna go, there was something gonna happen at some kind of meeting, and this was like last week, I guess. Is that what the Board of Adjustment meeting was, last week maybe, I don't know. But I didn't, I never heard anything back one way or the other. Things get tabled and who knows what happens. But the idea is that, I mean, these guys, I mean, aside from the fact that they may or may not be concerned about the wetlands, okay? But mainly that this was a nice quiet street, so to speak, and now it's likely to be a less quiet street. Yep. Okay. So be it. And they talk about all these things in the letter and so on and so forth. So what's going to happen? I don't know. You know. But lately, right? I mean, this is a time to see. I'm curious to know how much water flowed through there in the last week.
Yeah.
If you remember, there was a
It's a
storm last.
pedestrian bridge, though.
Excuse me.
It's not going to generate traffic. It's a pedestrian bridge.
Right. It's a pedestrian thing. Right. Correct.
Yeah, foot
Well,
traffic.
well, it
which,
could be a
you
combination
know,
of pedestrian and
We're all for that.
bicycle type vehicle traffic, I guess.
Sure. Connectivity.
How big is the Poplar Brook? Is it, I can't, I'm not.
I mean,
Like-
that.
I could
So
pull
it
out.
depends.
Yeah, 6 to 8 feet wide.
Yeah.
No,
I'm
it's
just
not.
wondering how much water,
No, it's
No,
not.
it'll
No,
get,
Yeah.
yeah, storm,
No, it's not the brook itself. See, the brook, that's the brook. When you see a brook, that's kind of the brook. But when
Here,
it
I'll show you.
rains, it's like, pretend you see the pictures of New Orleans,
Yeah.
okay? The whole town is completely underwater.
Yeah, it's the floodplain.
So it
Yeah.
goes over the banks and it just spreads out, and it's pretty flat in there.
But
Then
hold
you
on,
don't
I
use the bridge.
remember, I mean, now we're
I don't know
going
how long
back.
the bridge is gonna be.
Yeah, but Norm, hold on, years, and I do mean years ago at this point, we got letter of interpretation from DEP on this project. That the bridge met all the permit requirements for the Freshwater Wetlands Act. It was, they had the LOI, they had the plans, it was DEP approved, as far as I remember from seeing the schematics, and it covered the wetlands. They weren't building in the wetlands, and they were keeping people from walking through the wetlands. So, you know,
Right, so it's reasonably long, maybe not quite as long as the bridge that collapsed in Baltimore.
you know, I was on 95 last weekend, and you can see it from 95. Wild.
I went to see
It'll
my
like show
daughter,
you like
okay?
that,
But then after
so
the
when it
bridge,
rains,
I had to go
like
through
it'll show
Baltimore.
you that, but that's really the
That's
flood
place in
right
Maryland,
here.
Mhm.
and traffic
So
was.
it's a brook, it'll show you
No.
that, but it'll show you.
We went down on 301 and came back the way. Anyways,
But we were
But
on
this is just an
95 and we went
example.
right to the-
Yeah.
Oh, it's back.
so anyways, so the bridge, something is happening with the bridge. My understanding, the last I heard, unless the council didn't make the final vote on it, was that it had all the permits from DEP, had all the permits that needed to be built. The council had approved and budgeted because it came to us. I don't remember if it was right before you joined. It came to us, the planning
It was
board.
right after I joined.
We signed off on it.
I think.
So I don't know what's left to happen with this bridge.
I'm guessing, you know, I mean, I don't know, but that if they were cutting down the trees, that the council must have been some kind of,
No, so there's never a tree cut down in Ocean Township without approvals or permits? Ever?
this was Public Works cut these trees.
Or you saw Public Works cutting them
They
down?
saw Public Works.
Okay.
They told me those were-
Okay, just saying. You know, trees disappear in this town, Norm.
Other
They
kind
go
of things-
missing in the
other
night.
kind of things can disappear too, depending on their attitude.
Anyways, so that is the other issue that's going on at Brookside is the bridge. I think again, I'm all for connectivity and making this town more walkable and bikeable and more access and
I mean, hey, we're passing that, front porch ordinance to encourage front porches, so. Might as well have foot traffic to wait for
Sure.
people.
Exactly.
Was there another pedestrian killed?
Tell me
within
about
the
the
last
front
2
porch.
In the
years?
master
Where?
plan,
Oh,
the front yard
I think I
setback
saw
is
something
gonna
about
be
that, yeah.
forgiven if you have
Yeah.
front porches, depending on what the distances in that
I mean,
zone.
we forgive in the depths of the front porch.
Correct, yeah.
yeah, we want to be Mayberry. We are the
Yeah.
community of gracious living, so
But the Brookside project is,
The Brookside project is, yes, the Brookside project, back to your original question, is the dredging of Schnell Pond and then the planting of rain gardens on some of the properties where houses have been removed to mitigate some of the flooding issues over there. So it's a multi-step, multi-year project that is all contingent on the pond being dredged because they don't want to build rain gardens if those are the lots that they're going to be sending through the dredging equipment. So they don't want to build a garden, to destroy the garden, to rebuild the garden. That's just a waste of everyone's time and
It
effort.
makes sense to use those lots and put it through someone's
Right.
lot where they got a house.
Exactly. Yeah.
What was the end result of the impervious cover? What did they say?
I don't remember. I would have to look it up, but I want to say it was 60% of total lot area.
Okay.
So, is it
Yeah.
Highwood
As
that
opposed
there?
to 90% of the build rate,
Right.
which is like 80% of the total lot area or something.
Yeah, but it also tweaked the floor area ratio. So there's less space that they can build on the lot, but they're able to build slightly bigger homes on the lots now. Yeah.
So if they wanted to trade indoor space for a basketball court or whatever.
They can do that. If they want to trade indoor space for a wider driveway or those big looping driveways that are very popular on some of the larger homes, those are all trade-offs now. So you can have a bigger house, but you have to stay within the impervious cover limit. If you want to have other impervious cover amenities, then you're going to have to trade those off. So, yeah. That's what it is. It is what it is.
It was scary for me. I was dramatic about it because I wasn't aware of it, and I do site design, and we were in the process of like, proposals going out and telling people that they could do X amount and contracts being signed so they could buy a piece of property. And then I'm like, wait, by the time they close in 60 days and we get these permits in, but it all worked out for all of them, so don't worry.
I wasn't worried. All right, so moving right along then, update from the Tinton Falls Reclamation Center. Angeli went to the last Tinton Falls Council meeting and wrote up a great report. You want to let us know what's going on?
Sure, I don't have my full, I have my full email.
Wait, she wrote the report that she sent to you?
She did, and I sent it to the mayor and to the town manager. I should have sent it to you. Didn't I send it to you?
You should have sent it to everyone on this committee.
Probably
Why did you
should.
send it to me?
We're gonna get a report
Yeah.
now.
We're gonna get a report and then we'll send it out. That was
Why does
my
it have
bad.
to be approved?
No,
Oh,
I just sent it to him because I thought he's our chair, so I did it to him.
I think I'm the chair.
you are the
Okay.
I just thought that it was
It's up in the
his-
air, man. It's up in the air. A lot of changes.
No, I thought I would send it to the chair. The chair is the one who decides.
Uh,
Unless he tells you this, that it's okay to send it.
That's true.
So we don't have to yell at him at the meeting.
You're gonna do it anyways. Might as well be about this. Anyways, Angeli.
Yeah, so I attended the Tinton Falls Borough meeting on the 19th of March. And it had, 3 commissioners there, including Tom Arnone. The waste management people were there. The same guy who came like a month beforehand, Scott Perrin, I think he's like some director there, to give a report. But they didn't have any of their beautiful slides. They could only give an oral report because there was some issue. But he did give, a rundown of all the things that they have completed, like all the tasks that they have completed. And then they also said that they sat down with DEP with their 30, 60, and 90-day plan that has been approved. So basically they said that they have made some progress in the use of additional flares. They've finished surface collectors. They've put in some more emissions controls. And they're basically, let's see what else. They've increased the gas flow rate by 30%. And then now that's doing better. And then they've also put in 21 more gas extractors. So they're like really, being aggressive about, the things that are creating the smell and whatnot. And they did mention that the county, I guess, is spending $25 to $30 million like on this particular project as well. So altogether, they're kind of moving forward. Everyone's moving together. They said that they have, I guess, covered 15% of the landfill with some kind of membrane, and that they are working towards putting on 75%, like finishing up 75% of it by next summer. And there was a lot of talk about monitoring, that we need 24-hour monitors and, like monitoring for certain gases. And I guess there's like different types of gases that are emitted by different types of landfills depending on what's there. So if it's like a construction landfill, there's like a certain type of sulfide gas versus residential type of thing. So there was some debate on whether it will be useful to have certain monitors or whatnot, but apparently the town council, there's a gentleman there, I think his name starts with an M, I didn't write it down, but he had done his own research saying, there are these monitors for this particular type of gas and smell that's being emitted that they're looking into so that they can put that in. There was somebody from the Monmouth County Health Department as well. They're kind of going over the process. Lovely man, hands bound by the EP process. There was really nothing he could do but just kind of go over and tell us like what to do. If we are encountering these issues. So there was some talk that the county, wanted 3 basic things that they wanted to have kind of like instead of going through DEP and then going to the county, because a lot of residents are frustrated with like the lag. Time lag. You call DEP and then 2 days later they're like, are you encountering the smell? And 2 days later, that's nobody's encountering the smell. Or someone calls back while someone goes to work. So like even if you encountered something in the morning, 2 hours later, you're already at the office. Monmouth County really wants to have a direct line to the health department so that they can say, send someone out now. So they're kind of talking about that. And they're talking about putting up a website where they're consolidating, all the information of what's going on with the site, where are we in terms of.
They should already have that.
They should. I don't know if it's live yet.
Yeah.
At that time. But apparently all of these things are available on various different sites, and they just kind of want to put it all together on one site that everyone can just see. But I will say that it's more targeted to the Tinton Falls residents. And, I think that I think what we talked about was, I think we mentioned it, that it should be sent to all interested parties or available to all interested parties. Something interesting that they talked about was New Jersey Natural Gas has a project there where they're going to be capturing the gas, I guess. So that should help with the emissions as well and the smells. And that's in a permitting process right now, so that's going to take a bit of time. But I think there's work being done at the landfill, I guess, to remediate some of the smells and just kind of have better monitoring of what's going on there.
Now, how did you know about this meeting? You were just.
Well, I'm not on Facebook, but my husband is on Facebook. And there was a link from Ocean Cares
Okay.
to a group called Monmouth County Environmental Hazards or something like that. There's some group there. And on that page, they mentioned that Tinton Falls is having these meetings, their borough meetings. And then there's like links and things like that to go on Zoom, but I actually went in person because I thought I would have a better experience there.
Yeah.
I was able to ask questions.
Yeah, if anyone's interested, that's an invite-only group, but if anyone's interested, let me know, and I can help get you into it.
Yeah, we were able to, I was able to get in I just gave my address and my experience.
So let me ask this, so when you said flares, what's a flare? Are they burning off something?
Yes.
Honestly,
When you go up in the turnpike, you see the flares?
Yep.
Yes.
So they're burning off, so first there's a gas extractor that extracts some kind of gas and then they burn that.
It's usually
gas.
methane and hydrogen sulfide and stuff like that.
And those things, the flares, the burning doesn't make a smell?
No, because it's burned. It's
Burn,
burned.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, what goes off into the air is
Yeah.
like smoky.
Well,
and smoky.
That's why they're trying to extract the gas and, New Jersey Natural Gas is trying to extract it so they can sell it to you.
Yeah.
It's free.
Right,
They're gonna
right,
sell
right.
your own
It's
gas
free
back to you.
methane.
Yeah.
Like they would have methane, it's free methane.
The other thing,
Sounds so healthy.
well, the
It's actually
thing,
better to burn it than to release it in the atmosphere.
one of the last things I just didn't mention was they actually are looking to staff the Monmouth County Health Department with like overnight shift workers who can take the calls and actually act upon whatever residents have complained about. So I think that they're looking at that. I don't know if that would be like a county employee person, or I don't know if that would come out of the.
Just like an overnight hotline.
I guess that's an
Why are
actual
people
person.
having like
Well,
emergencies
It's not emergencies, but I will say that there are things that, like there's,
that are alarming?
well, there are odors, like I smell them, 4:30 in the morning.
And
And it's like so bad that you wake up. There's people who will complain about it like 1 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning. And so they want to call and have an actual person say, okay, this is the time. And while you can fill out a form
they're gonna do it for like data purposes.
I guess so,
Yeah.
yeah, and have a monitor, so if you want to have someone come out, I suppose.
Yeah, and it's the monitoring piece, it's the big one, because you can call DEP 24 hours a day, but if you call them at 2 a.m., they're not gonna get someone out there for hours. And by the time they get out there, the winds have changed, the smell's dissipated. If you can call the Monmouth County Health Department in the middle of the night and they can get someone out there to take the reading, instead of waiting hours and be like, there's nothing wrong.
Yeah, there was a lot of discussion about the what's the right word I want to say? I guess it's like the reliability of the investigator coming out and using the smell test. And so there was a lot of talk about, like, are there actual devices that we can use that actually create like real data versus someone saying, I smell it and I don't, kind of thing. So
Sounds like my house.
So I don't know, they talked a lot about there may not be, the technology may be existing, it may be Canadian technology, but we don't use it here because we don't have the same demand maybe, or something like that. So there certainly was talk about that, but I don't know whether, given the type of odors that are emitted from this landfill based on what is dumped there, whether those types of devices, like actual mechanical devices, will do the job. We don't know. And so I think they're doing some more research on that too. They might do like a pilot program or something. But all in all, it seemed like everybody's on the issue. Everybody's, really, especially the Tim Falls Borough Council is really, really focused on this issue and really wants to get this, settled, because it is a big nuisance.
Garbage is supposed to
Have it up in your town.
Sorry?
How
To
big
go
is
to the
garbage?
party,
So
so,
much
you know.
garbage and
Well,
how
we
high is
basically
it
have
being
one
measured
meter
before they
because
close the place?
It's not that
That I
far.
don't know.
True, yeah, West Park Avenue.
They keep talking about this phase 4 and whatnot. I don't know what
Well,
the
the reason I
maximum
tell you that is,
capacity.
you ever drive across Staten Island?
Mm-hmm.
You know those big hills, Arthur Kill, is that what that area is called?
Yep.
Okay, those hills were for garbage at one time, right? That became the highest point on the eastern seaboard. Before that was the Palisades. But somehow it was.
Just mounds of bodies in Staten Island.
Well, but they had to get a lot of bodies because they wanted to make it easy to find Jimmy Hopper and identify him.
Yeah. So one of the things that was interesting that didn't really come up, because you could totally tell everyone wanted to sideline with this comment, but someone actually said, like, maybe at a later point when the dust is settled about this issue, and so that we don't lose sight of this issue, I think people didn't want to talk about it. But I think it was a very good point where this gentleman said, why don't we talk about composting? Because half this garbage won't be there if we can have some sort of, maybe countywide or maybe town, like a town-wide composting program, so that the garbage doesn't end up there in the first place. So I thought it was a point well taken. It certainly wasn't focused on, given the fact that everyone's focused on this issue and wanting to solve this issue. But I thought it was really something that should be brought up in this context, because if we can reduce what's in there, then we're ultimately going to reduce the smell and the emissions and whatnot.
Well, I remember they built a biodigester out in Trenton. It was like south of Trenton, somewhere near the river, and they were trying to do that. They're trying to get more composting in Mercer County because, it's an anaerobic digester, so it was generating gas that they could then sell. So it's, there is money to be made in it. So I don't know what the status of that was. I don't know if it's still going, because I know that they were trying to get it off the ground, but I know that there have been significant hurdles in the collection from homes for food refuse and waste, because it's gross. It's not as simple as bagging and throwing it in the way we do now. It's a much messier process. And I know that Princeton had a pilot program, and it wound up not working. One, because there weren't enough people who got involved, and two, the logistics of it are hard. So they're still working on it. So it's definitely something for a long-term consideration. But I know that they're trying it in New Jersey. But
I was gonna say, I was just visiting Washington D.C. and I've gone to San Francisco, and it just seems like there is commercial composting.
Mhm.
There are bags, and
Mhm.
there is collection for it. It's just a matter of then what
You have to
happens
make
to
like
it.
a third stream of waste, basically.
Yeah.
Or-
Like an entirely separate stream,
But
just for organics.
then, like, back in the day when recycling was new and novel, like I recall, this was in Pennsylvania, like I would drive my stuff to a place and take having collected all my stuff for a month and just take it there. So granted, you can't do that with organic trash, but certainly if there was such a place, that then people won't be coerced into doing it. They could just, if you have the interest, you can do
When
it.
you did that, were you stuck in a lot of traffic? Were those other people doing that?
No,
So. it's
Well,
not
No, but yes and no. I mean, when I still lived in Chatham Borough, we had a recycling center. And so on Saturdays, and there were 2 days a week, but it was usually Saturdays, the recycling center was open. Instead of them pulling your recycling from your curb, you loaded it into your car and you took it to the recycling center. And everyone in town did that. You would have to do something similar with the organic waste. But
You know, I used to take my bottles, especially to eat
Mhm.
back in the day.
But I guess my point in saying, suggesting, or even talking about it is that then people who want to do it will go do it.
yes,
Versus coercing everyone or trying to teach people, like you will be teaching the people who want to do it to dispose of things properly. And I do think that there's probably a good number of people in town who would be interested in composting
Mhm.
if the opportunity was there and it was made easy for them. And I know the
Yeah.
town has composters and things like that, but then it is difficult when the responsibility is just on the individual for the entire process.
Right.
So,
I think if we took, I forgot a couple of, I don't know if it's Ocean County or if it's just a few towns in Ocean County that do this, but I believe if you take your compost to the county or to the town, you can actually, in the spring, you can pull compost from them and use it
oh yeah,
however you want.
a lot of towns do that. Yeah.
Monmouth County Park System, they'll give you a starter and things like that too, if you want.
We do something here, not compost, but something with the leaves.
But yeah, over there, like you can come in with like like a pickup truck or like whatever you can carry away, but
Mhm.
you can take it.
They do, yeah, in Plant Park they have, but it's not screened.
Yeah, but,
Yeah.
yeah.
Kind of,
Yeah.
it works for certain uses, but not
Well,
for others.
first,
You don't want your
it
kids playing
used to be outside the gate.
Yes.
You go down there, okay? Apparently DEP or somebody,
Uh,
the county said you're contaminating who knows what. They had that big pile, you can just get there
Right.
Sunday afternoon, you can go there and get some stuff, okay? And they had a machine that screened it, okay? Now, I screened mine after I got home, you know?
Right.
It's about a third rocks, you know? However, the next time I go, I'm gonna screen it there.
You're learning.
Whenever I get home, will be clean.
Give the rocks right back to them.
Mhm.
Not to move off this, unless anyone has any other comments, we do have one other major item tonight. And I just want to add, I was wearing a totally different hat. I was at the Tinton Falls Environmental Commission meeting last week. And they're like, oh yeah, we met that person from Ocean who came. So, yes,
Oh,
yes,
I didn't realize.
They-
I asked a question. but
yeah.
I
they
didn't,
knew.
I didn't introduce myself as anything.
They knew who you were. Anyways, we're still trying to formalize a liaison between Ocean and Tinton Falls on this issue because it impacts a lot of Ocean residents. We want to make sure that our voice and our residents are heard. And Tinton Falls is doing a lot to take the lead on this. We want to support them. So we're still just trying to figure out the logistics of that. It's moving along. Their environmental commission and their folks are open to it. So it's just finishing that connection. So yes, thank you very much for going and thank you for the report. So the other thing on our agenda tonight that is timely and somewhat urgent is, if you remember at our last meeting, we had a presentation from the former Environmental Commission Chair, Mr. Fred Brody, and Blue Sky Consulting Energy, about the Community Energy Plan grant. And because it was a last minute addition to the agenda and it was not noticed properly, I did not feel it appropriate to take a vote at that time on if we want to submit a grant application that they have kindly offered to write for us to apply for the Community Energy Plan grant to develop a community energy plan. So I know not everyone's here. So again, the process is we apply for a grant to get money to develop a plan. If we get the plan developed, then we move on to the implementation phase. There's implementation money that can be applied for. And should we get the money, then we can implement portions of the plan. So the first step is submit an application for the grant, see if we get the grant. And then if we get the grant, then we would go out to bid for someone to write the plan and then do the plan. And the plan would involve community stakeholder input. It would be a whole process. So I know that is very light on details. So questions?
what is it, what is a community energy?
Jack, this is more in your wheelhouse. You want to explain it?
Sure. It's sort of just a general plan on, like, I guess, electricity generation and where we get our power from and our grid and things like that.
Like we would put solar on top of our.
Yeah,
municipal
like,
buildings
it kind of like, it would probably analyze the resources we have, like the solar resource, the wind resource. I don't think there's any hydro in town or geothermal.
Well, the rains we've been having, we might get hydro.
Yeah, right. But and then they would basically like come up with like a whole plan, and we could include grid resiliency in that plan too. So like they would say, oh well, this area, you should put your distribution system underground in this area or something like that because it's high risk, or we can incorporate that into the plan. So like there are a bunch of things that would go into it.
They could do audits on the buildings too.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
So
That's
just
part of
look
it.
at how much your energy costs and can you retrofit lighting, can you change out air
At that point,
handlers?
can't you like sell it? Like when you, like whatever we save, we like get back in money.
What do you mean?
Like you're like refunded because of it?
I
No.
mean, you're just not spending money on the energy.
Is that
Well,
just
if
for
you
like
generate
residential?
more solar than
Yeah.
you use,
Yeah.
There's a,
Okay.
well, at that point,
Yeah.
isn't it 30%?
yeah, I don't know if you get
You're
that threshold
reimbursed
in these
at-
buildings, but
You're reimbursed at like the wholesale rate if you generate more than you consume, which is like 4 cents instead of the 17 or 18 cents that you normally pay.
So would they also be, would this also address putting in, like EV charging stations?
It could.
It could.
Yeah. Part of the plan is because there's so many different ways that it can go for the municipality, part of the plan process would be sitting down and talking to the stakeholders, so folks like us, folks in town hall, DPW, other residents in town, being like, well, what is the town's biggest issue? Is it reliability? And then they can develop a plan focused on that. Is it generation of clean energy? Then they can focus a plan on that. Is it building decarbonization? Then they can build a plan focused on that. So it could be any of these things, or all of them, but it's really the plan that's why the community input is so important, because you could have a 1,000-page document going through all of them, but what are we actually what is our need? And not only what is the need, what is feasible for us to achieve, and then develop a plan along that.
Well, I mean, like, what would even a con be to vote no to this? Like, if we're just doing it.
Mhm.
Throw it out there. Okay.
Yeah.
Ready to vote?
Okay, we're actually going to do a roll call vote on this, and then just so we're clear, we're going to vote on making a recommendation to the town manager and council that we would like to work with Blue Sky because they have volunteered to write this grant for us, and then the council has to approve us applying for the grant. So we're going to send that to them saying we would like to apply for this grant. They will have to vote to approve it, and then Blue Sky will handle the submission process for us. So that is the process. So
I'll make that motion.
who has a second?
I'll say.
Jack seconds. Okay, we're gonna go in. I'm just gonna go around. Donna, I'm gonna go around the table as is. So actually, I'm gonna start. Ken,
Yes.
Norm,
Yes.
Angeli,
Yes.
Julia.
Yes.
I also vote yes. Andrew,
Yes.
Jack.
Yes.
All right, unanimous. Great. Thank you, everyone. This will be exciting. I'm hopeful that we get this grant and then we can move forward with it. Yeah. I mean, there's some serious money out there for this.
Yeah.
Maybe we can put solar panels on your trees that you're planting.
I can think of a good place.
Listen,
You
I'm
said
loving my solar
panels. You
panels.
said solar panels.
I said
Sorry,
solar
they don't
panels.
work there.
My energy bill for the last, I think, 6 months now has been $3.25, which is just the interconnection fee. That's it. I'm very happy with my solar panels. But I don't have a battery yet, Ken. That's the next step. Okay, so Moving right along to our plan review committee. So I actually want to do this in reverse order. We've talked about this for a few months. I'd like to try and get this a little more formalized. We've talked about doing a subcommittee to assist Norm with his site plan reviews. Now, as long as we do not have more than 3 voting members on this committee, it can be a subcommittee and you can all decide how you would like and when to meet and how to meet. If there is a very strong desire for more people to participate in this, then it would have to be noticed and we'd have to find times and space and all that for the public to participate.
I mean, I get these things, and I actually made a list of the ones that currently have that.
Mm-hmm.
They're not.
Okay.
But the idea might be better to have just people who are interested hook up with me and we'll go over some stuff, or 2 other people can come over to the place or whatever. Depends what it is. Things in there, you know. Because certain things that come in some of the plans are things that I don't even review. I pass them on to you sometimes. You know,
And you also go out and you view the sites in person too. You take site tours, yes?
Right. Yeah, I'm still working. I gotta get out of the name. This billboard thing. I don't know how many people are doing the billboard thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So apparently the meeting that was supposed to be, you know, they bombed out. I think they saw.
They saw that there was gonna
So
be.
probably see that, that's my theory. So they packed it because Patty went to the meeting.
She went anyway.
And she went, and they said they put it off for 2 months.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I'm still trying to get I'm trying to get a number on how high the towers are. Just to give a quick summary. If you go to Orchard Plaza, okay, just north of Orchard Plaza is Ocean Township Collision, they call it. That's one of the sites. The next building or so north of that used to be Central Boiler, whatever they called it. Okay, now there's this building there, right? It's kind of a cream-colored building with a big overhead door and 2 windows. Okay? The billboard, plus the extra 3 feet that they could put for a guy to walk on under the billboard, you know, to go around whatever it is, the whole face of that building is basically how big that billboard is going to be. If you have an idea how big the billboard is, okay, it's going to be 17 feet, you know, 14 plus 3 by 48.
You'll be able to see from here.
And I based off the building sort of, and it seems to me it's about 50. Okay? And the top of the billboard, and one of them, is going to be 54 feet off the ground. Okay? And the other one is going to be hardly anything.
What about the billboard that's on the corner of West Park and 35? How tall is that?
Which one?
Like.
The one where they used to have the "Thank you for not killing our deer" sign. Do you remember that one?
But you're talking about the
The Kathy Ada sign right now.
east intersection?
Yeah, closest to Rook.
Right.
Wait,
I oriented everything there by
Literally
Rook
right
and
across
Starbucks.
from McDonald's.
Yeah.
Old
You're
office.
talking about the ones on top of the building?
Yes.
Well, first of all, those aren't electronic billboards.
Right.
No.
Okay. But I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it's not that big. Now, there is one electronic billboard, if you know, right north of Sunset, on the northbound side of 35. And I went and looked at that thing, okay? The billboard.
I think that was an existing billboard that converted to electronic.
Yeah, because we have an ordinance that you cannot erect
Right.
billboards in our town.
Right. I remember when they put that ordinance in, and the billboards that went down, a couple of them, one that went down was near where the McDonald's is, near it's now a Walgreens, okay? And they didn't do it in 2 years, I'm so happy. So that was pretty good. That was, had to be 20 from some years ago. In the meantime, this other one, but that other one is not that huge a billboard, but it's actually built kind of way up. It's not on a post, it's actually built on a kind of a structure. But it's reasonably sized, but it's not 14 feet. It may be 30 wide, but it's not 14 feet high, plus whatever. So. But we'll have to see where it
But
goes.
it sounds like the size that they would put like on the side of like the turnpike up in North Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty obnoxious.
Well, someone told me there's a huge one, the big one in Eatontown, which if I remember, I even drove right through Eatontown yesterday twice.
That's all I got.
Well, clearly it's not working. They need bigger for you to notice.
I'm trying to think where it could be.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah, it's right by the, like where the
I was just gonna ask that before all
I
day.
think it's, yeah, I think it's
So we'll see what, we'll have to see.
Legal.
This thing is humongous.
So-
So I'm trying to, I've got a contact. I started with calling DOT. Guy on DOT actually called me back. He's got me the name of a guy on, works for, JCP&L, a name to test people. Of course, the regular posts that you drive around in are less than the height of the school. The ones on the highway though, could be as high as 70 feet. Because I spoke to, actually, might be because they've got this extra tree on it, which is what the tower was. You know, it's got a big tall. But he also said some of them are metal, although the ones I went to on 35, right across from Coles, there's one there I went, got the pole number off. In case that means, someone told me that would mean something. Anyway, let me just go over what I've got now.
Yeah, well, no, I want to talk about this committee before we talk about the plans.
Okay, well, whoever.
So, do we want to set a time? Who is interested in assisting Norm with these site plans? Let's start there, because if no one wants to help you.
That's because they have to deal with me.
I know that we had. I know that we
It's not
had.
my family either.
Well, there was a gentleman who came to a couple of meetings and he hasn't been able to come because of conflict schedules. But Bill Tremarky is a resident down in Wanamassa who wants to get more involved, and he has site plan expertise and be interested in assisting you.
Have him try, give me my info.
Okay.
What's his last name?
Tremarky.
Was he on some of the Zoom calls?
Yeah. Yeah, he came to a few of the meetings, but this is bedtime for his kids, so makes it challenging. So, I mean, we can do that. We can have folks reach out to you and share them. I know that we get a lot of the plans electronically now, so we can have.
I could do it. I don't get them electronically.
Yeah, but Claire can send them out electronically
We
to
can get 'em.
members of the
You
subcommittee.
can get them. Correct.
Yes.
Can we use the energy grant if we get it to like leaning towards being paperless?
Sure.
The paper issue with this town is insane. I get calls to produce 25 copies of plans,
Mhm.
sets of plans. Why? I like lose my mind, and then they'll go missing, and I have to do it again. It's insane. Sorry to just jump in
No,
there.
that's
I
okay.
just
That's
had
okay.
to.
I'm not
Like,
surprised.
even community development asks for 25
Community development. Yeah, variances.
That's
like
that's
that.
super common. Yeah, if
It's
you're.
so common, but
But
it's
you
so
work with other
torturous.
towns, right?
Yeah.
Do you have a good model that somebody who's paperless?
No, no one really has a good.
I'll tell you
I mean,
why.
they just have,
No
so what they
one-
have to do is they
we
just
need
have
to
to invest in
spearhead
really
this.
large
Yeah,
monitors.
it's an
for
opportunity.
every computer.
Yeah.
I'll tell you
I
why.
speak to people
For
come
example,
from
plans
other
that I get-
states, and they tell us how behind we are.
Plans that I get, I've got a regular.
Because in other states, they do it everything at the county level.
Mhm.
So you can either
They don't.
read it
Mhm.
and not have a clue what I'm even looking at. You know, you got papers. That's for me. The only thing. Plus, I go on site and I slap it on the roof of the hood of my car, and I'm looking at it.
Mark it
Oh,
up.
I thought you were gonna say you
Yeah.
drive away.
Done that a few times.
Yeah.
Wait, say again?
Nothing.
I missed that. No, I'll tell you
They
what.
said when you put the
My
plans on
hearing
the
aids,
hood of your
I
car and you
use it
drive
for a
away.
text message, when I get a text message. I put
What happened
some
to like
hearing
those
aids,
flexible e-ink things that we were supposed to have, right?
Yeah, cookies by.
All right, so Norm, we'll follow up on this again because I'm looking at the time. We have a couple other things that we need to get to. Yeah.
One was a guy, he's at the far end, when you get to Roller Road, when you go to Valley and then Rose.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a warehouse there, and if you turn right heading towards where the civilians live now, where Roller Road ends, and then
Mhm.
you must put another warehouse. That's why. I put some comments in on that, I should have sent them.
I thought there was already a warehouse there.
It's a second warehouse next to the first warehouse.
He wants to say-
I
Right now it's
mean,
just a
okay,
small building. Right now it's just a-
I need to go out and look
Right
at
now
it.
it's just a small building there.
Sure,
I'm
okay,
gonna take that out and put another warehouse.
gotcha. All right.
Second one is there's a subdivision on Roosevelt Avenue, the subdivision that's not.
Hmm.
The car wash is gonna do something. They came in with revised plans that I got, but I haven't had a chance to. I haven't looked at them. There's some guy in Woodlock that's wants to subdivide his lot and take out a building and put it in a house. English Manor, but most of their stuff's just redoing the building, make it fancier inside, all that sort of stuff. There's a little landscape. The other one I haven't taken a good look at, Pat was gonna do something with the gas station. No,
What
they're
a-
gonna make it bigger. Not bigger, because it's only, but they're gonna have, instead of 2 islands, I think they're gonna have 3 islands.
What about 7-Eleven
Which one?
on Sunset?
I didn't see.
What?
I didn't hear
What?
anything.
Yeah,
I didn't see any plans for that.
yeah, there's something.
What could they do there?
I don't know. It's a minor it's
yeah.
a minor site plan. That's all I know. I haven't seen the plans yet.
No, I haven't.
It could just be
That
that
would be a
somebody
board-
new is
wait.
coming in.
That would be a planning board thing?
Yeah.
If the planning board thing.
It's gonna be a quick.
Like, we wanted to put in the like, those crash poles.
Yeah, I again, it could be something, I have no idea. I just know that they're coming in. That parking lot's a death trap, but
Honestly, like, I have angels watching over me that I've never gotten in a car accident in that parking lot.
I will
Better
park
with the
across the
delivery truck.
street.
That one's bad.
Back
And
in.
I park like perpendicular.
Well,
too,
everybody
like,
parks
in
in the
those
other
spots,
lot.
Yeah.
by-
Not those spots.
Right.
The worst parking lot are the ones that are on the corner of West Park and, West Park and Park Avenue at the T,
Oh, yeah.
like the Rook Coffee.
I don't
in
even-
the summertime.
Yeah.
When-
I don't go to that Rook ever. I
I
love
don't either.
Rook. I don't go there. Anyways, okay. Moving right along. There was nothing exciting at the last planning board meeting. We didn't have any new hearings. Sustainable Jersey, Jack.
Yay. Not much new stuff to report. I have delegated green fest planning to some of my green team members, and they have taken the ball and ran far away where I can't even see it anymore.
Oh, good.
So Green Fest is no longer at the park. It's now going to be behind the historical museum, kind of next to the library.
Yes. I love that. That's my parents' backyard. I go walk there.
You could walk the park
See,
too.
it's an eco-friendly.
We encourage people to ride bikes to the Green Fest
We
anyway, so I'm walking.
So, yeah, like I would call, let's say, someone in town and ask them, because they had asked me, oh, can you find out from someone in town what to do about X or Y? And like by the time I got around to calling them, they were like, oh yeah, I already talked to somebody from the green team. We're good. I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah, Diane's working hard.
Hear about it every night?
Is that your wife? Oh, amazing, fabulous.
But yeah, it's rolling along.
Good.
Should we approve some funds for Green Fest? We've normally approved up to $250 in the past. I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't have it on the agenda for a financial vote tonight. We'll have time, because what is the date?
May 19th.
May 19th, yeah. So we'll do it at our, what's the May date, Donna? It can't be any later than the 7th.
It's like the second. No. Second.
Second,
right,
yeah. Yeah, okay, so we'll make sure we do that at our May meeting.
All right.
All right. Anything else, Sustainable Jersey?
After Green Fest, I want to start focusing on just knocking out a bunch of actions
Mhm.
for more points. If there is anything you think we should focus on that's on the Sustainable Jersey website, just let me know.
Yeah,
Or
we should probably have a longer conversation about that here and go through the actions and discuss it as a committee to see which ones that overlap between strictly Green Team and Environmental Commission to see what we can get done. So we'll do that in May or June. Sounds good. And then just for Lollipop Pond, we haven't scheduled our next meeting yet, but we're looking to get more work done on the trail this spring, but we will be moving our public meetings to the Wanamassa Firehouse. For those who want to participate, they don't have to come all the way up here because that seems really silly.
Yeah.
It's a local thing, so.
Mike got more people to sign up at our cleanup last month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's on it. So, all right, unless anyone has anything
Just one
else.
quick-
Yes.
2 quick things. What is going on 35 by Wilkes Park there? Is it
35.
that little
like-
bump out, like by,
The
Gold
restaurant,
Coast?
they took the restaurant down?
No,
No, they put it like a,
yeah, a little bump out, it's like a little parking
Yes.
area or something.
like an entrance parking area to get into the park kind of thing.
Oh.
Into West Park.
Well,
That's what it looks like,
Yeah, from 30.
I haven't noticed-
35. across from each of them.
I saw the
Yeah.
county was doing the work.
Yeah.
Oh, nice of them to tell us. I'm sure they told someone. I don't know anything about it.
All right, just curious. And then you had asked for that list of initiatives. for the
Yes.
year.
Mhm.
Can we revisit that? at the next
Absolutely.
meeting?
Yes, because the one that we settled on was teaching folks how to do recycling.
Well, I
So,
bring that up
yeah.
because I saw an article, some towns are moving away from single stream for some good reasons. I don't
Sure.
know that we'd ever do that or
Yeah.
we'd want to recommend that, but
Yeah. But
it's worth
it's-
a discussion.
Yes, and it's something that's high on our list, but talking to Diane, we thought about moving that and having the conversations and planning for the summer so we get students involved in the fall. Because we weren't gonna get them done this spring. There just wasn't enough time, but we'll have more time to plan it out and then do it as a competition.
Okay.
And we can offer some sort of award to the winning video or poster or whatever we decide is the most efficient way. But that is still high on the list, just,
Well, there's other things on there too, I think, right?
Yeah.
That you want, okay.
yes, deer exposure. My dream is to get a deer exposure in Joe Playa Park to show people what the deer actually do. But,
Ed,
yes,
Ed, one last thing. Is Councilman Fisher's gonna stay on the planning board?
I don't know.
And because if he's our representative and on the planning board, I mean, it gives us good relationships with the planning board. I think we need a little more diversity with the council.
Yeah, I honestly don't know, but we'll see. Yep. All right, if there's nothing else, I will make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
He's faster than you, just so much faster. All in favor?
Faster.
Aye.
You just-
Opposed? Abstained? Thank you,
What's
everyone.
that?
You just were oblivious.
Environmental